Hello my gorgeous makeup loving friends, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hi, my name is Teresa. Today, we're spilling a little bit of tea, dishing a bit of dirt, which doesn't sound appetizing, but you'd be surprised. I am looking at BPerfect and their collaboration with the Vivienne, so it's obviously the Sceptre palette. This is what it looks like. I have a little bit of tea to spill on that, and obviously we're going to talk a little bit about the whole BPerfect Jaffa Cake satellite dish of it all. That's my new name for Jefferson Starship. Thanks, Gaia. I do appreciate it. That's my new favourite one. Yeah, so this is obviously one of my general reviews. I am swatching the palette. I do a little tutorial on this, and I give a review on the end. So watch throughout because I have something quite important to say. I mean, obviously watch all of my videos, but yeah, I think this is an important one. So if this sounds interesting to you, then do please keep on watching. My skin is being wonderfully problematic, so hooray! Can you tell I'm not wearing a bra? I've concealed it with the cunning use of a hoodie. I'm a bit nervous about swatching this, mainly because it's a huge palette and I don't normally swatch huge palettes on my face, because even though I do have a fat face, it's not fat enough to like cover all of these, but we'll give it a go anyways. So I'm starting with the top row. Now I do think there are some shades that are going to look very similar to each other, and I'm a bit worried about that, so we'll see. We have Rain, Kaya, Naive and Pink Lady. So that's these ones. So that's what we have so far. I have a wet wipe next to me, and this is a shade that I think is going to be quite similar. Here she is, cookie dough, salted caramel and hot chocolate. Yeah, we're meant to have a heat wave, but we don't. It's actually very grey outside, and I'm like, I wouldn't mind a hot chocolate. But I think here she is going to be quite similar to Pink Lady, so I want to put this next to it. Yeah, very similar. Could have been edited a bit better. We have cookie dough, salted caramel, and hot chocolate. That was a bit weird, wasn't it? Salted caramel came out very orangey. Not the way I thought it was going to. Interesting, interesting. Ooh, crown then is like a pressed glitter. Oh, sorry. I know that's a bit weird, but there we go. I also think Marcia and Canary look very similar, so I'm a bit worried about that. So we have crown. Put you there. Oh, right into the brow. Sorry, bad swatching. That's what we're here for, bad swatches. Marcia and Canary. Again, quite similar. These pinks, I can't see a lot of difference between them. And Bubble. Oh, I'm quite intrigued by this. It's not a bad yellow. It's quite a well, not a mustardy, but a grungy sort of a yellow, which I'm not against. I'm not against it. Then the next four, we have Half Baked, Depth, Power, and Cotton Candy. I mean, the amount of palettes that now have a shade called Cotton Candy, which is that shade, is nuts. I mean, this is definitely a darker shade than the Cotton Candy from the Natasha Denona Circo logo, but it is interesting. Like, did everyone just have a summit and decide that they were going to go with these colours? These two blues, very similar. Going to be interesting to see how they swatch. We have Flesh It Out, quite a nude colour. Mossy, Skydive, and then I think this shade is quite similar. Angeline. Not enough difference between these. I do find that interesting. Could have been edited a little further. She said repeatedly. Sols. Then we have Meringue. Oh God, I love meringues. Delicious. LV. Cover my spot. There you go. Orange Peel. Nice. And Medium Rare. There we go. I do think Medium Rare looks quite a bit like Pruned. So I'm kind of like, is there enough difference here? I do like that there's a grey in here. I think that's interesting. We then have Gush. I'll put that there. I want to compare these two. Pruned. Is that just me? Do they look the same? Interesting. Marshmallow. Oh, I like that. That's nice. Sylvia. Oh, I have a lovely friend called Sylvia. So I don't know if she would necessarily be grey. Actually, she's very colourful, so probably not. But you know, whatever. We'll do what we can there. Then we have Bedtime, Boss Lady, Waste, and Purple Rain. So yeah, there they are. I mean, you know how I feel about that green. That's really nice. Very last shadow then, and then we're on to the black and the white. So I'm going to put them because she said she made these bigger in the pan because those are the things that she pans. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Very smart. Very well done. So this is Bath Bomb, Abyss, and White Party. Yeah, fair. And then very last ones then, obviously this is part of the face palette. She has kind of two highlighters, a blush, and then a bronzer. So I'll be using those as well. Now I'm very pale, so we'll see how that actually works for me. So we have Blinding, Glazed, we have Parasol, and then we have Sculpt. That's it. I did actually have enough room on my face. On my beautiful, beautiful face. Yeah, I do think you can kind of see there's some overlap here. The blues look similar, those fuchsias look quite similar, those pinks, difficult to discern. So I do worry, well not worry, but you know, I do think maybe there could have been a little bit more editing, but you know, it's not the absolute worst. But yes, that's it. I'm obviously going to try and do something with this now. I'll be using the face palette as well. So I'll do that off camera because you don't need to see me doing that. I think that's quite dull. But we'll come back and we'll do an eye look together. Okay guys, can I be real with you? This is the 9th time I have sat down to try to do something with this palette, and this was the look that I settled on. Anyways, look, it is what it is. I'm not gonna lift up the palette and tell you what it is, like, or show you what it is that I'm using. I'm just going to tell you the shades because this is a big palette. So I'm just using this Jessup JE05 and I'm going into the shade Cotton Candy. I'm just gonna pop that around the outer edges. So this is obviously the Vivienne's collaboration with BPerfect. That is a major coup for her and well done. Like she deserves every success. She's very, very talented. I do think it kind of sucks that this has all kind of occurred shortly after we found out about all the issues. Well, not all the issues, but it was announced at the weekend by Brendan, who owns BPerfect, that they were going to start stocking Jeffree Star Cosmetics. Now, I know that some people are like, meh, it doesn't really matter, and that's totally fine. If that's your perspective, that's grand, and you know, that's fine. You know, we can all agree to disagree, and just as long as we're nice and respectful, not mean towards each other. For me, it's an issue because they know all of the things that he's done and they're willing to go into business with him. I mean, it's interesting because like he's definitely not making money, Jeffree Star, I mean, because if you look at Beauty Bay, his stuff is always on sale. Like, it's not doing particularly well. Then I'm taking, well, it's quite funny, I'm taking the Morphe Jeffree Star JS12 brush and I'm going into the shade Here She Is. And obviously I've cleaned all these off with what's the word? What's the thing? The color switch. Anyways, he's not doing that great on Beauty Bay, Jeffree Star, because obviously all his stuff is usually in the outlet, which is quite interesting. So I find it odd that BPerfect are now stocking them. Like, it doesn't seem like it's financially the absolute best decision for them. But yeah, I bought this palette before I realised they were in cahoots. Which, by the way, cahoots is a fantastic word, isn't it? It's not said anywhere near enough. But I know that some people are kind of deciding to, I don't want to say cancel, but that they're like, oh, I don't want to buy from BPerfect anymore, which is fair, that's their decision. I've also kind of come to that decision, but I figured I'd already bought this and it's not fair that Vivienne doesn't get her time in the sun. Not that like she's been waiting for me to do a review on this, you know. The pasty Irish woman. It's like, oh, that's all I've ever wanted. It's a strange white Irish woman to review my collaboration. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure it is, love. I'm sure it is. But I kind of figured, well, it's not really fair that, you know, her big achievement, I'm just going in with cotton candy, by the way, that it gets kind of overshadowed by all of this. So I was like, okay, I'm still gonna do a review on it because I think it's worth having a chat about anyways. I'm taking this Jessup 231 and I'm going into the shade Marissa. And again, just popping that along there. So yeah, I want to see what you guys think of all of that, like of the drama, I mean, I won't lie, like I put it up on my Instagram and I got really excited because Beauty Guru Chatter actually took a screenshot of my Instagram and put it into the thing. So I was like, oh my god, I'm so important. I'm not, obviously, I'm a nobody, but still, it's kind of cool. I was like, oh my god. But yeah, I want to know what you guys think. How do you feel about all of this? I know my lovely friend Rebecca feels really hurt by this. I don't blame her, you know. I think everyone's feelings on this are valid. You know, if you're kind of like, oh, okay, I don't really care, that's fair. That's your feelings. They're totally fine. They're totally valid. Let's just be nice to each other. Let's not do any name calling. Kind of sucks that I feel that I have to say that, but there you go. I am now taking this Morphe M506 and I'm going into the shade Medium Rare, which by the way, as a vegetarian, I'm like, oh, okay. What are we doing here? So I'm just stamping there. To just try and build a certain amount of colour. I think I definitely took the colour way down more there. Or way more down there. Way down more there. Oh, who knows? I have a degree in psychology, not English, clearly. Otherwise I'd have to give it back. Just gonna work it down, work it down. There we go, that'll do. And I flung this, because apparently I'm an idiot. I'm just going to pop that here. Oh, this eye was so sore when I was putting on the shadow because I tried with this palette 8 times yesterday. So this is my 9th attempt with this palette to get something out of it. I'll talk about that later when I'm getting onto the review, but it was a bit frustrating. I think also like I just kind of heard the news about BPerfect, so I was a bit flustered, shall we say. Yeah, I wasn't in the best form. I am now taking, this was a little brush I got with Blush Tribe, and I'm going into the shade Marshmallow. Yeah, sorry, it's a little bit K-cuppy. And I'm just going to pop it here on the outside. And work it in towards the center there as well, because sure, why not? Why not? I wanted to do almost like a pride flag sort of look because I thought, you know, why not? Looks kind of interesting. Yeah, so what I'm going to do now is just quickly cut the crease and we'll come back. And by the way, in case you're wondering what the glitter is, it's just this collection one and it is called Glitz One, in case you're interested. And we'll come back and we'll finish off the rest of this. Right, I've done the cut crease. It's very, very simple. And I am just using this Jessup 237, which is my Lord and Saviour. And I'm going into the shade Bath Bomb. And I'm going to pop that into the inner crease. Or, yeah, inner corner, whatever we want to call it. Just going to pop that there. Nice and pigmented. yeah, I kind of wanted to do like almost like the trans flag because I thought that was kind of cool and interesting. I also want to bring that a little bit down here, and don't worry, I will like swish that out, blend that out. Blend is the correct word, Teresa. Blend is the verb that you were looking for, you absolute fool. Oh well, I do try. Then I have this Morphe M152 and I'm going into the shade Skydive. Yeah, and obviously stamping that on at the moment. So just popping that there. Always afraid I'm going to go over my glitter line. Isn't that, by the way, a fabulous glitter from the collection? It's so good. I feel like everyone's like, this is a really nice pigment. Like, that swatches really nicely, goes on no problem. Look at that. Just say that's really good. Yeah. And then all I'm doing is taking this Morphe M562, and well, first I'm just gonna brush down here and kind of have the pink working its way towards the inside there. So I'm gonna pick up a little bit more of the pink that we had been using previously and just bringing it down there just to have it be a little bit more like the other side. Do I ever get my sides to match? Never. That would make sense, wouldn't it, Teresa? Yes, it would. Anyways, whatever. I've put this through the colour switch and now I'm just going to swish between the two. It's very pigmented blue, isn't it? It is a very, very nice pigmented blue. There's no patchiness there. Now the dark blue, that's a totally different story. I really struggled with that. Really struggled with that. This one, yeah, that's nice. And then I'm going to take the Morphe M562 again, and I'm gonna blend here between these. And this takes a while to kind of blend it out. I may need to take a little bit more of Skydive as well to just kind of work it out. And what I'm going to do now is just take this melt brush and go a little bit further with it just to get it to kind of blend a little bit more. This doesn't seem to blend as well as the other side, but we got there in the end. So yeah, that's it. But before I go off and put on lashes, etc., I have a little bit of a confession to make. I did not use the same shadows on this eye as I did on this eye. I used the same palette, but I used different shades. Yeah, the palette dupes itself. So where I used Cotton Candy on this eye, I actually used the blush, which was Parasol. Where I used Here She Is on this eye, I actually used Pink Lady on this eye. Where I used Marisha on this eye, I actually used Canary on this eye. Where I used Medium Rare on this eye, I used Pruned. The shimmer on the inside, I used Bath Bomb on this eye, but I actually used Blinding, which is the highlight on this eye. The kind of outer corner highlight on this eye, I used Marshmallow, but on this eye, I used Glazed. On this eye, I obviously used Skydive, but on this eye, I used Angeline. And I cannot tell the difference. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 shades. So 7 which dupe themselves out of quite a large palette. I mean, I think the difference, the most notable difference is probably between the blues, in that Skydive is more pigmented. It's more difficult to blend though. This one, when I was trying to put it on the Angeline, that was really difficult to actually get any sort of pigment on that. So for me, that was where a lot of the difference lay. So yeah, that's that bit. So I'm going to go now and clean up my face and do the rest of my makeup. I'll use the bronzer and blush, etc. And I will tell you my overall thoughts on the palette. So I'm back and I've done the rest of my face, and I mean, I don't think you can really tell that these eyes are that dissimilar. What I want to do now is kind of swatch the shades that I used. I'm going to swatch them on my arm, not my face, like I would usually do, just to show you how similar they actually are. I even have a wet wipe here just to be ready. So I'm going to show you Pink Lady, and here she is. I mean, it's a bit ridiculous. Marcia and Canary. Please say you're with me on this, guys. Medium Rare and Pruned. Seriously. Skydive and Angeline. Now, I will say there's a little bit of a difference in these, even in terms of how they apply. Angeline, by the way, is the bottom one, and that is rubbish. That's what I used on this side, and it was not good. Not good at all. Ugh. Then we have Cotton Candy and Parasol. Who let this happen, guys? Who let this happen? Then we have Blinding and Bath Bomb. They're exactly the same. Exactly the same. And finally we have Glazed and Marshmallow. That's 14 shades, guys. That's 14 shades that dupe themselves. So that means they could have omitted 7. When I say that I'm disappointed, I would have expected a lot more. I really... there are no words. I feel really bad for the Vivienne. I feel like this is not her fault. I don't want it to be her fault. I feel like somebody has done something wrong here. I'm frustrated for her, because it's such a big thing to get a collab, and you know, I bought this because I really wanted to support the Vivienne. I think she's absolutely fantastic. She's an incredible artist, but I feel that she's been done quite wrong on this. It's really frustrating. To further illustrate how bloody similar these are, you know, because you can make the argument of they swatch the same but they look different on the eye. I'm gonna zoom you into the eye now. Well, the eyes, plural, so you can see what it is that I'm talking about. I've gotten rid of my fringe so you can see it a little bit better. Like even the highlight and the brow bone is the exact same. The blue is slightly different. I will say that this blue was better to apply, trickier to blend. This one was awful to apply, but easier to blend. But if we look at the glasses off, I can't see any major difference between the two. I really can't. And considering I used 7 totally different shadows for each eye from the same palette, that's really not good, in my opinion. That means there were 7 shades they could have omitted. And considering the price, not great. Not great. So essentially the swatches and the eyes say it all. I did say before that this was my 9th attempt with this palette. That's right, I tried lots of different things before I settled on this. So that means I've actually tried an awful lot of the shadows already. The shade depth is an absolute mess. It is so bad. It is so patchy, and I couldn't get it to go down right. And I used a base. I used the BPerfect base, which I genuinely actually really like, and I'm going to be really sad that I can't buy that anymore, but first world problems. White Party was not the best white I've ever tried. It really wasn't great. I struggled to get it to actually blend things out. Yeah, like it just... some of them just, there was like patchiness. I was not happy with this at all, and I hate buying stuff that I'm not happy with. It hurts my soul. I don't have infinite funds, and I'm like, this, I could have bought something else instead of this, but you know the drill, guys. I make these purchases so you guys don't have to. Between that and coupled with the news about BPerfect now supporting / stocking Jaffa Cake satellite dish, I'm not going to be purchasing anything more from BPerfect. Unless they like get rid of their affiliation with him. That's just a me thing. You do not have to do that. If you do not want to do that, that is fine. I'm not telling you what to do. This is just my own personal decision. I feel really bad for the Vivienne, that she's been caught up in all of this and that she wasn't even given the time to shine with this palette, that they've done her quite dirty, I think, in the way that they've done this. The formulation is not great. Just the fact that the shades just are so similar to each other. I hate to say like it's a cash grab or whatever, but not for the Vivienne, I don't think so, but like for BPerfect, yeah. I feel really bad. I feel really bad for it. You know, I don't want to buy a palette and not like it. It hurts my little soul. So it comes down to me rating it, and I told my Patreons, because by the way, they knew I was doing this for the last day or two, that I was going to do this video. They've been on my side, and I told them I would give it a 2 out of 10, and I do feel like that it's so harsh. But when you look at the price and the fact that so much of this dupes itself out, like you could hypothetically, considering the bottom row is 6 shadows and 2, you could have gotten rid of all of that. It could have been a smaller palette. Like there's just way too much repetition. I just think it's really disappointing that of the very few shimmers that are in there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shimmers, 2 of them are exactly the same as the highlights. Why not give me a nice green shimmer or a yellow shimmer or something? It's very, very disappointing, and I think I was right in giving it a 2 out of 10 because I think they just dropped the ball on this and kind of hoped that Vivienne's name would sell the palette, which I think it has done, because everyone wants to support Vivienne. I did. I do. I still do. I think she's fabulous, and that's not taking from that. But I'm upset that they've done this. I think this just isn't it. And when I think on the most important question, which is, would I buy this again if I could turn back time? If I could turn back time. Sorry, Cher needed me to do that. Would I buy it? No, I would not. I would have saved my money and maybe flung it down the toilet, because that would have been a similar effect. I don't normally declutter my palettes, but I think this might be one that goes at some point. Very, very disappointed on so many fronts. Yeah, I wanted to love it, and I don't, and that just sucks. I really hope the Vivienne gets a really great collab with somebody else and that they get all of the success that they deserve, because I just feel like they've been really done quite dirty on this. It totally sucks. I expect I'll get a certain amount of hate for this, so yay. But you know the drill, guys. I always try to be honest. If I don't like it, I don't like it. It just is what it is. But that's it. That's the end of the video. Do please like, comment and subscribe. Do turn on that notification bell if you are interested in seeing more of this sort of thing on my channel. Do please share, because sharing is caring, unless of course it's an STD, in which case, you know, wrap it up, don't be gross. But that's it. That is the end of the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.